Welcome to the Shenmue AM2 podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shenmue AM2 podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew
And Matt.
And we are here for episode 17. This episode we're talking a couple topics. First is the delay.
Infinite sadness.
yeah, this isn't a happy episode, I guess.
It's nothing but disappointment.
We're going to touch on the delay and the lack of Shenmue anything at E3, probably. And then just a couple other little things we want to talk about. So we did get the KickStarter update, was it 68? Announcing the delay.
Yeah, pretty much right after we recorded our last one.
Yeah, it made me sad.
Yeah, I felt a tinge of sadness, but I also had prepared myself for it long ago.
I think you prepared yourself better than I did. I was in a little bit of denial. I thought it would be delayed. I really don't like when people say it's delayed until the second half of something.
Yeah, why?
Because that's a 6-month window.
Yeah, it is.
This game could be delayed 7 months, or it could be delayed 12 months.
Yeah.
It's a little open-ended, but I understand why they do that, because then they don't have to delay it again if they said it would be out in July of next year.
That won't stop them if they need to delay it again.
But I mean, if they had to delay it again within that time frame. So if they had to delay it from like July to November or something, it saves them from having to do that again, which is smart on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just another drop in the bucket. We're now at, 17 years waiting it'll be for this?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about for the longest time when Twin Peaks was scheduled to come back. I was like, I hope I survive. I have survived. So I hope I survive for this too.
So far.
Hype gives me physical anxiety a lot of the time. Like, I start getting physically ill if I get too hyped for things, because I think I'm not going to make it. If I know about something and I'm really excited about it, and it's years out, my body starts deteriorating.
I'd have to get myself hyped for, when I wrote my insurance exams and stuff, but I'd be right nervous right beforehand, and then the minute they hand me the paper, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's hard on the body waiting for something.
Yeah, anticipation is a hard thing. You need to release that tension at some point.
I've just kind of, when it got announced, obviously looking through Facebook groups and just the community in general, most people tend to be okay with the delay. Mm-hmm. Most people are just like, take your time with it. I did see one interesting comment. Someone's like, I'm okay with it this time, but there is a line at some point that needs to be drawn in the sand.
I'm okay this time, but don't do it again.
And that's
or else
pretty much how
son.
That's pretty much how I feel about it. Let it cook, let it bake, let it hatch, or whatever people are saying. I would have, obviously any fan would have liked to have gotten it sooner.
Yeah.
But they refer to technology changing, so the whole PS4 Pro, I think, might be part of the reason we get a delay.
Maybe.
But, I mean, that's not a bad thing. We're going to potentially get a better-looking, better product. And at the end of the day, this game does need to be the best it can possibly be to get that install base to fund a fourth one, because we're not finishing it now.
Nope. So yeah, that wasn't too devastating. It was pretty much expected for me. I was like, yeah, okay.
Deep down, I expected it, but I didn't want. I was kind of lying to myself.
Yeah.
And I think the community's taking it pretty well.
Yep. We're a patient bunch.
It's a lot of people were like, just be like, oh yeah, this isn't my first Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So I mean, look at Mighty Number 9 was delayed a bunch of times. Ukulele was delayed.
I think they just delayed Bloodstained too, maybe.
Well, Bloodstained was delayed like a year and a half or something.
Oh, okay.
It was delayed a long time, just because they wanted to put a better product out, and they delayed it right after the release of Mighty Number 9, which.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, but it happened. We'll deal with it.
Yep.
We just have more podcast time to fill now.
Yeah. That's the part that gives me night terrors. What do we do with a podcast for those 6 extra months?
We'll just have an hour-long episode of the girl that works at Tomato Convenience's backstory.
Yeah.
A whole hour-long episode about that. I'm serious. Let's do that.
Okay.
The other big news was... Non-news. Fake news. Was nothing being... Well, I don't want to say nothing about Shenmue HD was announced at E3. We didn't get the announcement we thought we would get.
There was nothing.
No, there wasn't.
What are you talking about?
So, the potential conferences where we could have seen something were most likely Sony's or possibly the PC gaming. But it would have most likely been Sony's. Sony's press conference this year wasn't good.
No.
Matt and I watched it at my house, and we were both pretty disappointed.
It was just because besides VR stuff, everything on there was a known quantity. Like even the Shadow of the Colossus remake, I mean, it's a game that's existed before. I don't know.
Yeah, I was really let down, especially after the past 2 years of how good it was. The highlight was when they had the music at the start, and they're sitting there, and I said, I meant to say Bear McCreary, and I'm like, why I was like, oh, Bear Grylls is up on stage, and Matt's like, why would Bear Grylls be on stage?
Yeah, that was.
And it was. I'm pretty sure it was Bear McCreary.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of stuff missing from the PlayStation in general.
I'm just hoping they're saving it all for PSX. Like, that's more of the fan conference. This is the one for investors and, like, the fan like, you would never get Gio Corsi up on, like, the Easy Allies mentioned this. You would never get Gio Corsi up on stage at E3 holding up his Vita, That's a PSX thing.
Yeah. They just mentioning the Easy Allies thing. One of their bets was, will Sean Layton wear a T-shirt with like a video game character on it? And it was kind of a baited bet because he does that's the PSX thing. That's the fun show for the fans. Get people involved, get the crowd, hooping and hollering. And E3 is not that, and we didn't get Shenmue HD. But they did, at one point, talk about something fans had a cult following for. And Matt and I were just like, Monster Hunter Worlds. Not Shenmue HD? It was not Shenmue HD?
Yeah.
There was a lot missing, though. Like, there was nothing about Yakuza 6. Like, Yakuza 6 has been out in Japan.
That was in the pre-show, I think. There was tons of shit in the pre-show, apparently, that was really good, that they just didn't put in their conference. There was about an hour pre-show.
Yeah. It was like Nintendo with the Samus Returns. Why not put that in your main show?
Yeah.
That's what people are watching. I was at work. I know the conference, actually, the Nintendo thing happened to be exactly when my lunch was. And I watched it. It was over, and then I'm back at work, and I open an IGN webpage, and they're like, Return of Samus. I'm like, well, did I miss something? Like, it buffered a little bit when I was watching it, but I just put that in your show.
Yeah.
Like, that's when all eyes are on it. Put it in the show.
It's just the saddest part about the Sony E3 press conference was that we got together and we set up a camera to record our reactions, and it just didn't get used.
No, nothing. Now, with the potential HD announcement that I'm referring to is Microsoft's backwards compatibility with the OG Xbox.
Yeah. That's technically a new way we could get some Shenmue.
Maybe without all the audio glitches and just make it work. But from a PR standpoint, why would Microsoft not do this?
Yeah, I don't know. They really only announced one game on the stage for their original Xbox.
It was Crimson Skies, but Microsoft could just look like a hero here.
Yeah, they should have had a big list of games ready to go with Shenmue on it.
And you can tell they want to go in that direction because Crimson Skies is a game that fans loved.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never played it. I know it's an airplane game. That's really all I know about it, but
I had it. It's really good.
It's a game that people wanted, and they said, hey, this is going to be probably the first one. And I think that's awesome.
Yep.
Sega just, I don't know what they're waiting for. A lot of people think it's potential licensing issues, and we did get a really good question, and I want to if we can, do a whole episode about it, because I've done a ton of research on it.
Oh?
And we'll talk about it when we're not recording, to save it for an episode.
Okay.
But someone asked if Shenmue 2 being on the Xbox was beneficial to the franchise.
We asked one of our interviewees that question, I believe. Was it... I
don't remember.
Yeah, we asked him, and he said yes, because he never would have got into Shenmue without it, because the first one he played was Shenmue 2 on the Xbox.
Oh, yeah, it was Adam Scipione.
Yeah.
Scipione. But yeah, so I think we should do an episode on that and just talk about the whole big picture of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just disappointment hit with more disappointment.
We're used to it.
But that doesn't make it okay.
It's not okay to abuse us, even though we're used to it.
And there's so much, like, with that whole Saga Forever thing now.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of a Dreamcast on it. Mm. I just don't know how they would do it. I'd love it if they did.
Yeah, me too.
That's really it for... Did you have any just overall thoughts about E3? I was pretty disappointed this year.
Yeah. The biggest thing I was excited for was probably Anthem, the new IP from BioWare. That looked really nice. It was shown off at Xbox's conference, but it's coming to everything. Well, not Switch. But yeah, that looked good. Yeah, it was kind of a lackluster E3 for me.
A Way Out looked fantastic. I love the concept of how that game plays.
Yeah.
The fact that you could have one side of your screen in a cutscene and then someone playing. Mm-hmm. I was really impressed by that. I was impressed by Microsoft's press conference. I think they had a really good one this year.
They showed a lot of neat stuff. I mean, I guess a lot of it was probably third party or like exclusive for a little bit, so it's not true exclusive. Like they showed it, but you could get it other places. But,
yeah.
But it made the press conference better, them showing these cool games.
The whole, what was it, console launch exclusive?
Yeah.
Which means it could be exclusive for like a matter of a few days.
Yeah. Actually, Ubisoft gave some people their dream announcement with Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. That's good news.
Yeah.
I think that's really good news because, again, people are in the same boat as us. And just like when I originally watched the Sony press conference in 2015, when what was the first game they announced of the big three?
It was Last Guardian.
Yeah. And my wife's like, "Oh, are you upset?" I'm like, "No, this is something people wanted." And same with Final Fantasy Remake.
Why can't everyone get what they want?
But if you try sometimes,
if I
just might find you'll get what you need.
Yes. If I was a billionaire, I would just fund dream games for people. Even if I didn't care about them, I'd be like, you get a dream game, and you get a dream game.
You're the Oprah of E3 dreams.
Mm-hmm. Somebody give me billions of dollars so I can do that.
If I won we're in Canada, if I won the Lotto 649, the 50 million, I would get my ass on a plane, and I would be in Japan in a week. And I would just be like, here's a check. For
how much? How much money would you donate to this Kickstarter?
Another $1 million, at least.
If you got 50 to spare.
Canadian. $1 million Canadian.
Oh, that's $2.
I ain't your buddy, guy. No, I would donate more, and I wonder how fans would feel if someone did donate a bunch more money. Because they would make a better game, but it would take longer to make.
Yeah.
Do you think people would get...
Some people would get annoyed, but other people would realize it's for the best.
Tell us what you think, Internet. But yeah, I don't know. If someone ponied up $1 million, I'd applaud them
and then curse them for having it delayed again.
Another 6-month delay? That's not cool. Just a couple little random things before we finish up this episode. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but I'll put a link in the here on YouTube. The Huber reaction video, someone turned it into a QTE.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic.
It is.
And make sure you watch the whole thing, because there's a nice little bit at the end.
Yeah.
I've also am now 60% paid on my Shenmue 3 Kickstarter debt. with my buddy Tim. We had, for those who are unaware of what I'm talking about or unfamiliar with it, part of his conditions of me convincing him to donate to the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter was that I watch 5 movies with him that I should have already seen, being a 30-something adult man. So the first one we watched was Ghostbusters. The second one that we watched recently was Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the last one, most recently, was Terminator 2.
Don't say eh. I'm gonna stab you with this pen.
It was not a great film.
What was wrong with it?
A lot of stuff.
Like what? I don't know what you like.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie was like Mickey Rourke in Iron Man.
Why?
He says like 5 things the entire movie.
He's an emotionless robot. You should see the first movie. He says even less.
Yeah.
He's a robot.
And then
actually, the first movie is way better in my opinion.
I'll show you that. The next movie, and Matt's kind of excited about this, we're going to watch the original Star Wars.
Yay, you can get my references.
Sure, whatever. And then the 5th one is either going to be a Rambo movie or an Aliens movie.
Go Aliens.
But the thing is, I've seen one of the Aliens movies.
Which one?
The best one.
Don't say AVP.
I will. Fine, I just won't say AVP. It was Aliens versus Predator.
Oh, God, no.
When the Predator just looks at the guy and opens his hand to show that the bomb's gonna go off. Other than Johnny Cage's sunglasses scene with Goro in Mortal Kombat, it's the greatest movie scene of all time.
Get out of my house. Watch Aliens.
That's the second one, correct?
Yes, yeah.
See, 2 people there. We're way off topic here of Shenmue, but 2 people, my buddy Tim and our friend Christian, they were kind of debating over which one I should watch.
Aliens is more accessible. It's an action movie. Alien is a horror movie.
Yeah,
it's slower moving. I love it, but Aliens is. If you're only gonna watch one and you're not a big movie fan, watch the second one.
I ran into, on my way to go over to see the movie, I just stopped at Walmart and got some treats, and I ran into an older fellow that I work with who's probably in his early 50s. And he's like, "Oh, what are the plans for this evening?" Because he saw I had like a bag of Swedish berries and a thing of like veggie straws. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to classic movie night." And he's like, he had introduced me to his wife. I introduced my wife to him. He's like, "What classic movie?" And I said, "Terminator 2." And he just started roaring. And then on Monday at lunch, I just sat down in front of him in the cafeteria and I said, "Terminator 2 was not that great of a movie. It was overhyped."
Oh.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know.
You got bad taste, man.
No, I have good taste.
Well, everybody tell him how wrong he is. He said to all these movies.
Whatever. I don't have the nostalgia for them.
I don't know, maybe that's a factor. What movies do you like?
Shawshank Redemption's a great film.
Okay.
Do you know a movie that came out not too long ago that I absolutely love? The Big Short. The movie about the housing market collapse. It is a fantastic movie. They break the fourth wall in it. And because it's about a complicated topic, they'll stop the movie and have random celebrities, explain what they're talking about in layman's terms. And those parts are fantastic.
Nice.
There's Margot Robbie does one of them. Anthony Bourdain does one. And then there's one of some scientist and Selena Gomez together at a poker table. It's fantastic.
Wow.
But yeah, so I only have 2 movies left on my Shenmue debt. I haven't used my veto yet. I don't think I'm gonna. Because he said if I use my veto, he's gonna make me watch a really shitty movie. Like Terminator 1 or something.
Oh, come on now.
That's, I think, it for this episode. Next episode, again, these are not weekly, although they do come out in a week at some point, one of the 52 of them a year.
Yep.
Matt and I talked about our favorite music tracks from the first Shenmue game. And we did have some fan submissions. We had put it out there on Twitter, and we did a few of those as well. So it's a bit of a different style episode, but it's really good. We already have it recorded and done. It'll probably be out about 2 weeks after this one. We are on social medias. We are Shenmue AM2 Pod on the Twitters, Shenmue AM2 Podcast at gmail.com. Please send your feedback. We are going to be doing the music for Shenmue 2 one as well. So please send us your favorite tracks for that. We'll compile a few of them, put them in the episode, like we did the first one. YouTube.com/Shenmue AM2 podcast. Please give a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shenmue AM2 podcast on iTunes, Shenmue AM2 podcast on Facebook. I think that's it.
Cool.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsor this week, U Arcade.
No, U Arcade.
No, I insist, U Arcade.
Okay.